What's up, my YouTubians? It's your brother Bishop of Bishop's Own TV, and I'm gonna get right into this Ari Lennox Ghana debacle. And why am I talking about this issue? Well, I am talking about this issue because it exposed a lot of problematic attitudes, feelings between African Americans and continental Africans, and a little bit of everybody in between. Now, why do I say that? Well, the proof is in the goddamn pudding. As you can see right here, people were going in on all different sides. You had some continental Africans accusing her of colonizing mentality, being a colonizer upon a trip, exploiting people, being tone deaf. Then you had African Americans or black people, let's just say the ADOS, FBA community, which, if you didn't know, ADOS is American Descendants of Slaves and FBA is Foundational Black Americans, right? These are a group of people who would be considered black, who are descendants of those transported to America via the transatlantic slave trade, but because they only feel obligated to respect and honor their ancestors here on this soil, they don't identify with Africa one bit at all. And they spend a whole entire time on the internet letting it be known we don't rock with these Africans and they don't rock with us, clearly. And I try to be the mediator between that because I don't subscribe to that ideology. But this Ari Lennox situation, it didn't make things better. It actually, I would say this, and you will see from the tweets, that it actually probably made ADOS a little bit stronger in their own little minds. It made their arguments that more valid. Now, again, I don't subscribe, I don't believe it, I think that's exaggerated truths. I think it's also a lot of delusions, a lot of self-hatred, a lot of cultural self-hatred and whatnot, but it wasn't a good look. This was not a good look. Now, I'm gonna break down my perspective on why I actually thought this was really, really problematic. For one, Ari Lennox, in my opinion, Ari Lennox is not at fault. She shouldn't have to feel any kind of guilt or shame into feeling some kind of way about her experience in Ghana. And what I mean is, look, she had a positive experience. She wanted to share that with her people, her fans. She's a musician, she's a public figure. And she said, look, Ghana is beautiful. It's actually, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful places on earth. This is what Ari Lennox said. I think that was her first tweet. And with that tweet came an onslaught of backlash. Yes, spreading positivity evidently ain't worth shit in the eyes of some people, especially our people. And when I say our people, I'm talking black people globally, African people globally. Yes, I consider myself African. So yes, African people globally. She received a ton of onslaught. Now, she received some love too, but you know how it is, man. The negativity sometimes is louder than the positive, genuine love that your fans have. Yes, a lot of people accuse her, like I said before, of being tone deaf to the conditions that Ghanaians are going through at the hands of their government. Yes, she was being accused of that. Oh man, Ari Lennox, you having a good time on the beach? You having a good time in Ghana? You know, people, and it's so hysterical to me because it's almost like, look, I believe Ghana is a shithole. This is what basically I'm picking up from some of the Ghanaians who responded, and it's not just Ghanaians too, by the way. But this is what I was picking up from some, not all, some, and because they think it's a shithole, and they believe that because of the state that it's in, she should feel that way too. And is that right? Is that really necessary to shame her, to make her like, okay, you think this is good? I live in this hellhole. You can go right back to your first world country after you take your photo ops and you get in the sandy beaches. This is the impression that I got. This is actually what a lot of people were saying in the comments. And then on the flip side, you had African Americans, the ADOS crowd. That ain't our homeland. What are you talking about? You're out of line. You're disrespecting your ancestors here in America. Y'all Negroes, this Pan-African. And see, this is why, boy, when the devil colonized and enslaved us, boy, he broke the mold. Because here we are, 400 something years later, still placing our energy towards the wrong people. Because ultimately, all this sparked because she wanted to share positive experiences that she had with Ghana. Yes, I agree. Sometimes even African Americans can be tone deaf when they go to developing countries, including countries in Africa. Yes, sometimes we could start to think like the quote-unquote colonizers. Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. But a lot of these accusations were thrown at Ari Lennox based solely off a couple of tweets. You didn't know why she went to Ghana. You didn't know where she went in Ghana. People didn't know. They didn't care. All they saw was a successful or what they consider a rich celebrity from the West coming over to a developing country and enjoying all the spoils, all the riches that these people can afford. Even consider her to be a classist. This is a case of classism. So I guess I'm gonna ask this question, and you could comment below. What was Ari Lennox supposed to do? What was she supposed to do? Huh? I'm just curious. Because I don't think people realize, but she was invited to Ghana in the first place. She performed at Afrochella. I think I'm saying that right. And during her stay, because of her being invited, she decided to explore Ghana. And in doing so, she had a spiritual experience. And for that, she paid for it. So I asked people, what was Ari Lennox supposed to do? Or what are African Americans who are interested in going back to the motherland, what are we supposed to do when we visit? What is the proper etiquette? Because I get it. Yeah, if you just go to a resort, you just go to the fancy schmancy, whatever things that these places have to offer, and you don't get in tune with the local people, the local culture, you don't immerse yourself and humble yourself within that, yeah, I get that. That can be very, very disrespectful. But again, you didn't know if Ari Lennox did any of that. And what's even funnier is people calling her privileged because she's from America, she's from the West and whatnot. Maybe we should apply that same thing, that same logic to people coming over here to America. And why do I say that? Well, because one of the gripes, one of the complaints that people had about Ari Lennox was she's visiting a country with a corrupt government that has turned a blind eye to helping the vulnerable population of Ghana. That sounds eerily familiar, doesn't it? Yeah, that sounds like America. I know. America isn't as impoverished as Ghana. America is a first world country. Ghana is a developing country. However, it's all relative. Someone living on the streets in Los Angeles, possibly Skid Row, is not thinking about what people are going through in Ghana. That's basically saying, well, you got nothing to complain about. You don't have anything to complain about because people in Ghana got it worse than you. So people should just get over their mental issues. They should get over their poverty-stricken issues and smile a little bit while you're on the streets. How insensitive does that sound? Again, everything is relative. It's complicated. It's a complicated journey that we face as African Americans. And sometimes we need a break from America. We need a break from predominantly white spaces. I don't think continental Africans, and I'm only speaking right now only to the continental Africans that had a problem with Ari Lennox going to Ghana and speaking highly of Ghana. But I don't think continental Africans truly understand how it is to be a descendant of enslaved African people, be a descendant of people stripped of their culture, then forced to live in a country that is controlled and primarily owned by the descendants of your oppressors. I don't think people truly get that experience. On one hand, we could say it's a privilege for you to at least be on the continent where your forefathers and their forefathers and foremothers and this, that, and the third lived in. Even, I understand you living in despair, you're living in poverty. Well, I'm gonna say I can't understand. I'm gonna give you that respect. But even that in itself is a certain privilege. It's a certain privilege. Trust me. There's a certain trauma that we live with that is unchecked. And we have to live with that trauma every day in this country. I know what you're thinking. Oh, you live in America. What do you have to complain about? If that's the case, then nobody should commit suicide in this country. Nobody should have depression in this country, but people do. Again, it's all relative. What I'm saying is, look, if Ari Lennox was out of line for however she chose to celebrate her experience in Ghana, you could at least engage in the conversation, at least help her understand why it was tone deaf, why she was out of line. You could have did it at least in a more empathetic way, basically is what I'm saying. Not I'm gonna tell her off and other African Americans. As far as ADOS, I don't know I don't know what to say to y'all. Y'all are who y'all are. You are who you are. May Captain American Daddy guide you in the next life. So, again, oh, and by the way, breaking news. It's not really breaking news, but Chance the Rapper is also in Ghana. And he had positive things to say about Ghana too. And ironically, he didn't receive the same kind of backlash as Ari Lennox. So, I don't know, maybe it's some sexism involved in how people pursue to attack and bully Ari Lennox. And yes, it was bullying. No matter how you see it, it was. Let's keep it real. But, hey, that's all I got to say. Shouts out to Ari Lennox. You know, I'm a fan, you know, sister. Hey, keep your head up. Don't let these people get to you. Fuck. I don't know. I want my money. So I don't know if I can curse and say that. So until next time, this is Bishop. Like and subscribe, and holla at your boy.